Why do people post to TikTok? What is a virtual classroom? Do you use AI? What's with all these fake photos?
Did you go to an arcade? How many TV channels were there? What was dial-up internet? Did you hang out at the mall?
From the class of 1996 with big hair, AOL, and whatever.
And the class of 2026 with YouTube, smartphones, and mask mandates.
You're listening to Midlife Young.
Welcome to another episode, and today we are going to talk about, all it says here is 1992.
Yep, summer of 1992.
Okay, I'm going to need more on this topic.
I've been waiting for the moment for what feels like forever.
It's another story.
The kind of waiting that makes you count down the days on a calendar and imagine what life would feel like when the door finally opens. And then, one afternoon, it happens. Suddenly, the world feels bigger, like someone had handed me something I'd only dreamed about.
A puppy? No, wait. Probably a computer of some sort.
At first, it was just the thrill of freedom. No more asking for favors, no more feeling stuck. I could go anywhere I wanted, when I wanted. The possibilities stretched out like an open road, though I didn't think of it that way at the time. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B. It was about independence, about proving I could handle responsibility.
An Uber? Actually, I don't think they had Uber back then. A bus card?
And the benefits, they came fast. Late night plans didn't feel impossible anymore. Quick trips weren't a hassle. Even the simple act of saying, "I'll take care of it," carried a weight I'd never felt before. It was like stepping into a new version of myself, one that didn't need permission. Just confidence.
Pulling at straws here. Is it a horse?
Funny thing is, it wasn't magic.
And definitely not a horse.
It was something small, something everyone sees as ordinary. But for me, it changed everything.
Open door? Freedom? Not stuck? Open roads? Quick trips? I think we should change that to watch out, get out of the way, look out.
Yep. Today, we're going to talk about driver licenses, classes, practice driving, and the driver's test. Oh, and who just got their license?
Me.
So let's start off. Let's talk about, the classes and the studying.
There was mainly videos and readings. Nothing that I can really remember.
Well, for us, there's a class we could elect in high school. We'd all enter into the auditorium. The room was divided off. So we had our one little section, the fake walls dividing it off. The theater lighting, the only thing lighting that room. In amphitheater-style seating, with the teacher and his desk at the bottom. TV cart next to him with the big 29-inch tube-style TV. You know there was going to be videos during this class.
They had videos back then?
Teacher handing out the paper-style driver's manual. The one that's so many pages thick with the staples in the center and it's folded over. It's going to be interesting reading for the next few months.
I also had a paper driver's manual. It was just a book.
So I'm making it sound more exciting than it is.
Depends on what you define as exciting.
It wasn't exciting. Most of our class was mostly reading that book. We'd summarize at the end of the class just to make sure we're on task. Maybe ask questions of the teacher. But then we'd have those few days that they would have a movie for us. Now, movie day was pretty exciting because it's, not reading that boring manual.
Was it like watching someone crash into a tree because they were speeding in the middle of a highway?
Oh, yeah. We had some good videos at the time. It was one of those scared straight style, like Red Asphalt, Signal 30, Mechanized Death, Wheel of Tragedy, and Death on the Highway. Entertaining pieces of family-friendly video footage.
Far from it.
With actual footage of fatal and severe injuries. Wreckages of cars. With horrific audio of victim screams.
Real life horror movie.
And, of course, all of it in that charming, wonderful VHS format with the white speckles and the videos rolling every so often due to tracking issues.
I didn't understand any of that, but okay.
Yeah, it's the way VHS tapes were back in the day. And then the cherry on top is usually the school for 1 week would bring in a car-wrecked car and plop it right next to the entryway so that for a week you could walk by this disaster just as a reminder.
Oh, so they were really trying to scare you or something?
I don't know. We were a different breed back then. I don't think things scared us as much as today's generation. Because to be honest with you, I don't remember what the videos were about. Some classes had the opportunity to do simulations. Nowadays, I would assume those simulations would be full 3D immersion simulations. Did you have any 3D simulations?
I don't believe I did. I don't remember doing any.
I would have expected something. We didn't have simulations either at my school, but some schools did. And they were called Drive-O Trainer. Now, this sounds like it was not just limited to the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They had a version even farther back, which almost looked like the front of a tractor. But the 70, 80, 90 version looked more like a brown box with a steering wheel and a gas pedal and a brake pedal. But you could drive without actually driving in these Drive-O trainers. I personally was never able to experience this, but I've read online that such a thing existed. The next step is the permit test, because you need that before you can even start your driving test.
Very true.
Now, for us, we could do the permit test right there at the school. They had that lined up, so we did our test right in class. And if we passed our test, then we could move on to the practice driving, which is also held at the school.
Wow. I had to go to the driving test place, and I sat down at a computer and I just answered a bunch of questions like a quiz. And then we didn't get our practice driving from a school or from the driving test place. We had to hire someone for that. Behind the wheel.
For us, the school supplied that. The instructor usually was either the gym teacher or the detention hall teacher. And of course, the vehicle itself was not always in perfect condition because it usually was one of the school cars that was used in the automotive classes. But there were some interesting stories related to the practice drivings at schools, not just for me, but others. Parallel parking was always a tricky thing for everybody.
It actually came pretty easily to me.
Go figures. Depended on the schools, but a lot of times it was like the gym teacher that was the instructor, maybe the detention hall teacher, which made it very interesting at times. I was the one that got the detention teacher as my instructor.
That tracks.
Short little lady. She was a short little lady. Always looking mad. You had one or two classmates sitting in the back seat with you because you had to trade off on who was doing their practice driving that day. Would be driving around, and the short little teacher was telling you, turn here, turn there. Well, she didn't like the way it was spinning the steering wheel, because I guess palm spin is not the way you're supposed to do it. And it's supposed to be both hands on the steering wheels and hand over hand as you spin the steering wheel, right? And so she had me pull over. Now, of course, I have the two classmates in the back seat with me, all watching this go on. She has me pull over into the side of the parking lot, and she's telling me that I'm steering the steering wheel wrong. And she asks, and you know how to turn the steering wheel the proper way? And I said, yeah. It's like, then I want you to do it now. And she'd go, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn right, turn right, turn right, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn right, turn right, turn right. And then she says, does it faster. Left, 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 right, 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 left, left, left.
Sounds like PTSD.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have been better off with the gym teacher.
Climb that rope faster. You're only 5 feet. Climb that rope faster.
Never mind. Should have just had the principal do it. Oh, never mind. You're shaking in the corner now. Is that a tear rolling down your face?
All right, let me compose myself a little. Anyway, other stories out there involve the instructor coming in with a coffee cup, but yet they don't drink the coffee.
What, are they too scared of the students driving?
That's what you'd think. But you'd quickly find out at the parallel parking what the cup of coffee's for.
I'm curious now.
Parallel parking. We get into place, and the teacher would put the coffee cup, take the lid off, onto her clipboard, and hold it there parallel park now.
Uh-oh. I'm having PTSD now. Well, what would happen with the coffee cup? You never finished that.
Well, if you didn't spill her coffee by being a dangerous parallel parker, then they may drink their coffee.
Oh. If they don't drink it fast enough, I might.
Oh, and the last thing I forgot to mention, the joys of a second brake pedal.
Huh?
So the vehicles that were equipped for drivers training at our high schools, the instructor had a brake pedal.
Mine did too. Forgot about that.
How could you forget that? That's like the most annoying thing. You're
How
going
could you
down the road and that teacher thinks you're going to hit something even though you're not. At least I didn't believe I was going to hit something. And she slams on that brake and all of a sudden your head almost goes right into the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And why they don't give that option to parents when they're teaching their kids?
Well, they would have to get it put into their car.
We've practiced our driving with instructor. Comes the next few weeks or months of practicing with your parents to earn up the hours that are needed to be able to go in to take your driver's test.
Which most people fake their hours anyway.
Now, I went to a test facility where it was well known in my area that if you were a guy, they would fail you first time every time. Specifically, the women test instructors.
Oh.
And so I went in my first time to test, and guess what?
You failed?
I did.
Sounds more like a you problem.
Well, there was this one point that I pulled up to an intersection. I did fully stop, and the other side hadn't got their green yet. And so I decided I guess I could go. So I started to go just as they started to go, and I said the phrase, "Didn't see that coming," and noticed the lady scribbling on her tablet. I think I knew at that point I wasn't going to make it.
Nah. See, now I passed the first time.
Rub it in.
I was good enough.
Ouch. I did pass the second time. Probably barely, but I did pass.
Oh, yikes.
And see, I'm such a wonderful driver today.
We can agree to disagree.
All right. So let's bring up a few key differences between driving back when I was a teen after I got my license and driving for you right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the technology in our cars. So we had no GPS, no backup cameras, no lane assistance, and we relied upon paper maps. Oh, paper maps. Oh my goodness. I can go on a whole story about paper maps.
Let's have that different episode.
Okay. We'll keep rolling on this one. And then parallel parking was definitely a real test.
Well, today, cars often have touch screens, Bluetooth, and driver assist features, which I don't have in my car. Well, I have Bluetooth, but I think that was an add-on, because I have to unplug it and plug it back in for it to work.
But I do wonder, do you have any idea how to use a map?
Sometimes, but I rely on my GPS more.
Communication. If you got lost, you found a payphone or asked for directions.
Oh, well, if I got lost today, I would just say, "Hey Siri," and then tell it to...
Siri, where am I?
Yeah, and then tell it to either call my parents or tell it to bring me home or to the McDonald's across the street that I'm staring at. I don't know.
We just talked about the driver's ed differences with VHS tapes, classroom lectures, and maybe a simulator that looked like an arcade game.
Today is mainly online courses, interactive apps, and sometimes VR driving simulations.
Which is a bummer you didn't get to experience that, because I was
know.
curious. What was the VR like?
I would have loved to try
Especially
that.
if they would have handed out the Apple super glass thing.
Well, mine was all online.
Of course, our driver's tests, manual paperwork, cash payment, and a strict examiner with a clipboard and that coffee cup.
So mine was pretty much the exact same, except we just scheduled online. Yeah, the examiner had a clipboard. He was the nicest guy ever, though. And they didn't take cash. Well, they did. They only took cash and check. They didn't take card. It was really weird.
That is odd, because that's the DMV, isn't it?
Yeah, but they did have a camera in the car. No, they didn't. It was my car. So they wouldn't have had a camera. My behind-the-wheel instructor did have a camera in the car. That's what I'm thinking of.
And of course, culture and freedom. Getting a license was ultimate freedom. your ticket to independence.
See, now that's how I am. But most teens nowadays don't actually want their license, and I don't know why.
Probably because there's so many different services like rideshare and being able to reach out to friends on social media. It's like there's so many options to get to places nowadays.
Yeah, but I've always wanted my license, so I'm really happy that I got it.
I think this was a pretty good episode. I think we drove this one really good.
Right off into the ditch.
Ouch. Well, hopefully we'll be able to recover that car out of the ditch, and then we'll be back for another episode.
Depends who's driving.
Ouch. From the class of 1996
And the class of 2026.
this has been Midlife Young.
Don't miss out on future episodes by subscribing to our podcast.
And find us online at midlifeyoung.com. Thank you for listening.